Death with dignity is about having the ability to determine when and where and how you're going to go. It's about having a choice, having control. Death with dignity should be legalized in the state of Florida because it brings peace, suffering to an end, and gives terminal patients control that they have since lost. These patients were once strong mothers who carried their kids and gave nonstop piggyback rides, fathers who were adorned as gentle giants, stronger, tougher, and kinder than any other man in the world. While these people still exist, their terminal illness has reduced them to the point where they have lost their hair, most of their body weight, their skin turns ashy and gray, and a simple smile quickly turns to a grimace. These patients are in more pain than anyone can imagine, not just physical, but mental pain. Spending the final 6 months heavily medicated and trapped on a hospital bed is not an ideal medical solution for some patients. The treatment options are horrible, and the consequences that arise from taking them do many terrible things to the patient's body and mind. Patients are administered drugs from ketamine to opioids. Opioids are used to reduce pain, but also cause sedation, dizziness, vomiting, and respiratory depression. Ketamine is even worse for the patient. Its effects range from delusions, tachycardia, increased depression, memory and visual problems, blackouts, and even the inability to properly speak and see. This is suffering for the patient and their family as they are tormented by seeing their loved one in so much pain and distress. Instead of this painful and suffocating manner, patients should have the right to choose death with dignity and preserve their body. After fighting for 7 years, this man was declared cancer-free, but 3 months later, his body was completely overtaken with cancer. His daughter's only choice was to watch as he lost every mobile function, speech, and even the ability to breathe on his own. But near the end, I was praying for his death. I was looking at my dad and wanting him to die because his suffering and our heartbreak was too great to stand. Warren Church told his daughter, "If I reach the point in life where I can't do what I used to be able to do, if the end is coming, I hope there's a way that I don't have to suffer and feel useless." Jennifer Rhodes, as she watched her father, I felt helpless. I thought I had prepared myself for what I would see and what I would hear, but I was wrong. It was still scary. It felt like he was drowning and there was nothing I could do to help him. This is Jennifer Rhodes' father, 2 months ago. For his final 48 hours, my father was merely a corpse, passing air intermittently while being ravaged by pain. He was gone, no light in his eyes, the smell of death oozed from his pores. I sat with him, stroking his head, holding his hands, begging him to go, telling him over and over that we all loved him, that everyone was here, that it was okay, that it was time, that he needed to let go. My father needlessly suffered his last 48 hours. Nobody should have to go through that. Death with Dignity is a movement that is being shown on more ballots across the country, and Florida should be the next state to consider it. Today, Florida ranks number 1 among all states per capita, with almost 20% over the age of 65. It is crucial that we begin to accept more end-of-life options that people want and need. This is Hope Hospice, located in Fort Myers, a place where patients are supposed to be able to go and pass away peacefully. However, this is not the case, as an anonymous post on their website describes how she witnessed her father suffocate when he didn't receive proper amounts of oxygen. There is not much care or compassion. Hospice is supposed to be a place of comfort, but if these types of abuse are going on in our county, it's just another reason why patients need another option like death with dignity. If a patient chooses hospice, that is their choice, but to be neglected in their final days is wrong, and no human being should suffer like that. People deserve the best care. They deserve a facility that is going to be there for them. Great hospice care is not being given in our own county. The only abuse arising is from the hospice centers, not death with dignity. So what would this cost? Well, Medicare pays over $55 billion just paying off the final 2 months of terminally ill hospital bills. Patients can also spend up to $10,000 if they're forced to stay in the ICU, while the drug Seconal costs only between $400 and $500.
My name is Brittany Menard. I am 29 years old and I am terminally ill. On New Year's Day 2014, to my great shock, I learned I had brain cancer. Despite the efforts of advanced medicine, my cancer is aggressive and currently without any cure. But I am dying and I refuse to lose my dignity. I refuse to subject myself and my family to purposeless, prolonged pain and suffering at the hands of an incurable disease. Freedom of this patient right is choice. People have asked me whether I have explored the medical practice of palliative or terminal sedation. Some claim it is an equally gentle alternative for patients whose symptoms cannot be controlled. The procedure involves drugging the patient into a coma. Nutrition and fluids are then withheld until the person dies from disease or dehydration. No one can tell when that would happen, but each patient is different and deserves the autonomy and freedom to make this most personal choice for themselves. How dare the government make decisions or limit options for terminally ill people like me?
This is my grandmother. She recently passed away after being diagnosed terminally ill. As my brothers and I watched her grow weaker, she suffered more with each passing day. I wish for her sake that she could have had the option to choose death with dignity instead of suffering the way she did. The time to act is now. Death with dignity should be legalized in the state of Florida because it brings peace, suffering to an end, and gives terminal patients control that they have since lost. The only people we hurt by dismissing the option of DWD are the terminally ill patients who have less than 6 months left to live. We must do what the patients want and support their families and their decisions. You can join the movement now today by going to www.deathwithdignity.org to sign the petition, or by calling your local state senator, Senator Elizabeth Benaquisto, at 239-338-2570 and tell her the time is now. We can do this.
As elected officials, you have the power to make this happen. Please take action. Every terminally ill American deserves the choice to die with dignity.
Our residents deserve the choice to end their pain and suffering. Join the movement. Legalize death with dignity in Florida. Thank you.